What's happening, Saints fans? Welcome into another live edition of Saints Now by Chat Sports. As always, I am your host, Trace Girouard. Thank you so much for tuning in to today's live program, no matter where you are or how you're watching. We always appreciate the Who Dat Nation for making us a part of their day. We already put out a video this morning breaking down the latest news around the salary cap. So for today's live show, we're going to dive into some more news and rumors. But really quick, I got to get today's show started by asking you one question. Do you believe in Kellen Moore as the New Orleans Saints head coach? Right now, we're in the audience build-up portion of today's show. Take about 5, 10, 15 minutes. Let people pile in. Let people click on that push notification, and we're going to be hanging out here for the next 45 minutes to an hour, I would say. So I'm seeing a lot of people saying yes right now. Ricky, Hayden, Mike, James, Jason, Courtney, Kyron, Gregory, Mason, Jerry, all saying yes. Courtney, good news for you. The print department is getting your polo printed as we speak, so that will be in the mail as soon as possible. Wanted to give you an update there, Courtney. The printing department is working on that polo as we speak. I just talked to them. They were working on it today. I got a little sneak peek. It looks really good, so I'm excited to be able to send that out to you, Courtney. Fran Sullivan's in the chat. Zombie Sniper, Jaquias, Willie, Glenn, Kevin, Quan, Hayden, Ty, Sean, Mason, all hanging out with us and giving me a yes. Now, really quick, I also want to give a big-time shout-out to my guy, producer Nick Lopez, one of our awesome new guys that we have here in the studio. We recently hired him. Nick, if you want to do a little cam left or that cam box up here, if you want to, feel free. We want to be able to say hi. So everyone say hi to Nick in the comments section right here. Yeah, you're good. You're good. Do you know how to change it? Cool. Everyone say hi, Nick, because, hey, he's blessed us with his presence today. He is, fun fact, from the great state of Louisiana. So if you want to say hey to one of the hometown guys, show some love to my guy, Nick Lopez, in the chat. I think there's two of me. Yeah. Turn the normal cam left off. You're all good. I was like, wait, I'm seeing two hands. There we go. You're all good. All righty. Everyone say hi to Nick Lopez as he joins the show. Hayden saying hi. Jaquias. Justin Jefferson saying what's up. Kyron, Ricky, Raphael, Jerry, Glenn, Shiloh, MGL. What's going on, Michelle? Good to see you. It's been a while. Art, Farrell, Raphael, Terry, Ray, Fran, Nick, and Pretzel, and Jerry G. Thank you guys for showing love to my guy, Nick. Lopez, you want to tell us a little bit about you? For those of y'all who don't know Nick, just give him a little bit of a rundown and introduction for you. I think you're muted. There you go. You're good.
One of the fun facts about me is you mentioned Justin Jefferson.
Yeah.
In the comments. Went to high school with him.
You went to high school with Justin Jefferson?
Yeah, Destrian High.
Is that your boy? Y'all go back?
He was a senior. I was a freshman.
It's you guys were classmates. You guys are all homies. You roamed the hallways at the same time as Jetta.
Yeah, we were hanging out.
Yeah, I mean, just hanging out, being cool. Nick, went to LSU. When did you graduate?
2024.
Very nice. So Nick Lopez, graduate of the great LSU, Louisiana State University. And on top of that, Nick, one more question I have for you. What's one thing the Saints need to do this offseason for you to be happy with the current state of the team?
I think at this point, just embrace the rebuild.
Okay.
You know you're not going to be the best team next season.
All right.
Just get some solid building blocks.
Yeah.
And be a fun team to watch at the very least.
Absolutely. I mean, I can't agree more with you on that. It's just, hey, it's something new. It's something different. We got it. It may not be perfect right away. It may not be pretty right away, but, hopefully in the near future it can be.
Give me a reason to turn the game on and be like, you know what?
Yeah.
I didn't hate this last 3
Yeah,
years of my
like,
life.
I to be totally honest, if it's up to me, I would just like to get back to not being miserable on Sundays. Like, I just want to get back to being like, I don't dread waking up and watching football.
No.
Because during that 7-game losing streak, I mean, I literally was like, I can't believe I have to actually watch this team. Like, this is awful. It was tough to do. So, all right, I just wanted to give some love to Nick Lopez. He is going to be hanging out with us, hoping to try and get him a little bit more involved with the show. So if you guys like Nick, show him some love. Hit him up on social media. And as always, just give him some love in the comments section. Now, really quick, we're going to try and get a quick little like spike going right now. So we have 137 people watching, only 34 likes. Can we get to 75 likes ASAP? Because I'm telling you right now, every like that we get on this live stream is going to add $100 to the Saints cap space. Currently, about $54 million over the cap. So every like that we pick up over the next 60 seconds is going to take off $100 over the cap space. We're going to try and clear up some cap space. So let's take off some money right now. Come on, hit that thumbs up icon, like today's video. R. Farrell saying that extra 10,000 is going to help. Damn, hey, when you're as broke as the Saints and you got to pinch some pennies, 10K can go a long, long way. All right, we got 53 likes. I need 20 more. I want 20 more. Let's get to 70 before we get this party rocking and rolling. King Blood saying, I doubt we bring Taysom Hill back. We're going to get younger next season. Hey, I think that if Taysom Hill does get moved, it'll be a post-June 1 move. They don't save really any. They save less than $1 million if they do anything before June 1st. So whether you cut or trade Taysom Hill, that'll be a post-June 1 move if anything is done at all. You hear? Thought $2 super chat. We'll get that popped up here momentarily as our software is updating to get it on the screen. Mike is saying cut Derek Carr. Jerry G says start cutting $150 million from Carr. Great news on the cap. There's going to be an extra $25 million. Ron, good to see you, brother. Thank you so much for tuning in. That is also a fact. The salary cap is increasing up to $25+ million this year. It's going to be a lot more, about 277. About $270 to $280 million is kind of the rough estimate here. And then in 2028 and 2029, there's another boom expected to happen. We broke that down earlier on the show, so I highly encourage you to go check out our AM video when you're done watching the live show. Alrighty, 3 likes away. I know we're going to get there, so hit that thumbs up icon, like today's video. And if you would like to join the show, if you want to get on the program, we're going to be doing a mailbag here at the end of the show. So use hashtag Saints or send in a super chat and we'll get you featured on the program. Just like Mr. Filmer did, hashtag Saints, space, insert your question or your hot take. Lopez, do we have those super chats? Have those loaded in yet? Okay, cool. Cool, not yet? Sweet. Okay, no, you're good. So you hear? $2 super chat. Thoughts on my comment? Drafting Ashton Jeanty in the first round. I'm all for Ashton Jeanty in round 1. To be totally honest, I understand why people are like, no, go O-line, go D-line, go whatever position. I also will say this. I think that the Saints need everything. And I think that Ashton Jeanty is a player that is a proven, great, generational type player. And if you have the opportunity to grab him, I think you draft him. I think you saw how good Kellen Moore was with the running game. I think you also understand Alvin Kamara's not getting any younger. So you pair up Ashton Jeanty to complement Alvin Kamara now, but then to take over in the future. I'm not saying right now. I'm saying like in a couple of years down the road, Ashton Jeanty can be the bell cow guy and kind of learn so he's not just thrown to the wolves right off the bat. That's kind of my thought on that. I think that the Saints definitely could benefit from drafting Ashton Jeanty. We also got $2 from Mike. No message in that one, but I appreciate Mike for sending in that donation. You the man, my friend. Mike. Everyone give a hoodat to Mike and a hoodat to you here. All righty. Lopez, if we could show them that weigh-in of hashtag Saints or super chat just so that way they can see what to type on the screen. I already see a couple of popping in. I see Mr. Filmer getting another question in. And then if we're also short on questions, we can go to that Ashton Jeanty super chat during the mailbag too. Yeah. All right. So join the show. Use hashtag Saints or send in a super chat. If you do send in a super chat, you skip the line. It's like a fast pass at Disney World or Six Flags. We'll spend a little extra time talking about whatever you send in a super chat for. And it's an easy way to support the channel and help us continue to grow as we try to dominate the YouTube stratosphere of New Orleans Saints coverage. So there you go. All righty. We're going to dive in. We're going to start off with some news and rumors. 77 likes. That's some really good stuff right there. Can we get to 80? Let's get to 80. 3 more. 3 more likes. Let's go, baby. Who said anything about trading Alvin Kamara? Oh, Sean did. If we draft Jeanty, I'm all in trading Alvin Kamara and get a third for him. Sean, I would not trade Alvin Kamara. I also don't know if you can get a third for Alvin Kamara. He's old and expensive, and I understand he's coming off the best year, but I'm telling you how people outside of New Orleans view Alvin Kamara isn't as highly as we view him. And that's just because he's not on their team. That's just the facts. I would not want to trade Alvin Kamara, though. I think he's too vital of a piece of the offense. But I can see where you're coming from, though, Sean. I get why you would want to do that because, at some point you got to stop living in the past and start thinking about the future. So, Sean, I don't think you're totally off on that. All righty. We're going to get started. We're going to set up for this show. First segment coming at you. Latest Saints news and rumors. We're going to talk some coaching hires. We're going to talk some cut candidate rumors, some Cam Jordan talk, all that kind of stuff we have to discuss a little bit more in today's video. Did you see Kevin Austin Jr. becoming more relevant? What happened? I mean, I saw him make some plays last year, but wouldn't say he wants to. I don't know if he's climbing the relevancy tower extremely fast right now. Michelle, we'll get to that super chat here after this segment. I appreciate you. Just give us 10, 15 minutes, Michelle. We'll pop it up on the show. I just want to get into the content. I'm really excited to talk about this stuff. So, excuse me. We'll get to that here in just a moment, Michelle. Really appreciate your $2 donation. Dude, I'm dying over here. Goodness gracious. I think I'm dying. All righty. Let's get this party started. Can you go to name badge? You're good. You're good. And then we're ready to roll. Saints fans, 90 likes. Can we get to 100? You guys can make it happen. Hit that thumbs up icon. Without further ado, whenever producer Lopez is ready, we're going to dive in to today's live show. What's going on, Saints fans? In today's video, we're going to dive into the latest news and rumors around the black and gold. Now, we've recently put out a video discussing how the salary cap increase can impact the New Orleans Saints. That being said, I'm going to start over real quick, just do a hard pause, and I'm just going to reset. Lopez, that's on me. Hard pause coming at you. What's going on, Saints fans? Welcome to another edition of Saints Now by Chat Sports. My name is Trace Girouard. Thank you so much for tuning in, no matter where you are or how you're watching. We always appreciate the Who Dat Nation for taking some time out of the day to come and hang out with us. So for today's show, we're diving into the latest news and rumors around the black and gold. We've already talked a little bit about the salary cap increasing. That was in a previous video, so go check that out on the channel. So in today's show, Saints have hired a couple more coaches. Kellen Moore continues to fill out his staff, and cut candidate has been named by PFF, and that is Cam Jordan. So we're going to break that down. But if you want more Saints videos, if you have a hard time getting Saints content on your feed, I highly recommend you like today's video. It helps YouTube understand you want more Saints content. You want to see more from Trizzy Trace, Ross Jackson, Nick Underhill, and everyone else who makes awesome Saints content. Hit the thumbs up icon and do yourself a favor. Alrighty, so this is the first piece of news. We're going to start off by discussing the special teams coordinator hire. We have a coordinator. It's officially official. Phil Galiano. He has been promoted as the New Orleans Saints special teams coordinator. Last year, he did serve under Darren Rizzi, and he's been around the Saints learning under Darren Rizzi, and I think that this is an excellent hire because he's very deserving of the promotion. And you know, when you look back at last year, there wasn't a lot of good things about the New Orleans Saints, but one really good thing was the special teams side of things. And Darren Rizzi did a phenomenal job when he was the special teams coordinator. However, when Rizzi was promoted to be the interim head coach after Dennis Allen got fired, I think Phil Galiano did an excellent job leading the special teams unit. He was the special teams coordinator, and he led the special teams unit after Rizzi was promoted. So I think that this is a really, really awesome opportunity for a guy who, quite frankly, deserves the chance. And, you know, no question about it, I'm going to miss the Rizzler. I am going to miss Darren Rizzi. That fiery Italian personality, I mean, he was awesome. I loved having Darren Rizzi on this team. But now it's time for Dr. Phil. I want to see Dr. Phil Galiano get after it this season. I want to see that special teams unit continue to block punts, continue to block field goals, wreak havoc on opposing kickers. And I also want to see them just be a good special teams unit once again. Again, congratulations to Phil Galiano. Big-time promotion there. So here is the current coaching staff. As you can see, still no defensive coaches have been hired, but Doug Nussmeier, he has been there's a report out there that Josina Anderson put that the Saints are finalizing a deal with Doug Nussmeier to be the offensive coordinator. It hasn't been made official by the team. It hasn't been announced by Nick Underhill or by Adam Schefter or anybody else, But Josina Anderson reporting they're finalizing a deal. I expect that to be happening and be done and be announced anytime now. So we're just going to go ahead and say he has been hired, and you can see the rest of it. There's even another name here, Ted Rath. We're going to talk about him in just a moment. But again, I mentioned it already. Still no defensive coaches have been hired. That domino will fall soon. It will, in my opinion, be Brandon Staley. And in my thoughts, I think that this is some move that'll happen just, pretty soon. Just full transparency. I think this happens very, very quickly. I do think that when it comes down to some potential defensive coordinator candidates, there have been a couple names that have been interviewed. Christian Parker and Durante Jones, both defensive back coaches for their respective teams. Brandon Staley, he was the assistant head coach or assistant head coach, I believe, for the 49ers this past year. He served as the head coach for the Los Angeles Chargers when Kellen Moore was the OC for him. And before that, he was the defensive coordinator for the best defense in the league when the Rams won the Super Bowl. So feels like it was a pretty good run there for defensive coordinator. This was an obvious choice for OC. It's an even more obvious choice for defensive coordinator. The Saints, for what it's worth, they have satisfied the Rooney Rule. They can make a hire at any moment in time. I mean, like, the next 2 minutes, they can make a hire. That being said, I don't know when it'll happen. It's obvious it's going to be Brandon Staley. I think it's a great duo of two young minds who, when they're running their respective sides of the football, are really good at those roles. So we'll have to see how things mix up when the roles are reversed where, Kellen Moore is the head coach and the head honcho and Brandon Staley is the support system as the defensive coordinator. But, I want to ask you this question. Would you hire Brandon Staley as a defensive coordinator? Just hit the thumbs up icon if that's the answer is yes. If not, shout him out in the comment section. Let me know who you would want to be the defensive coordinator. Now, coming up, I mentioned it off the top of the show. Cameron Jordan, he has been named by Pro Football Focus as a potential cut candidate and cap casualty for the New Orleans Saints. I have a lot of thoughts to discuss, and we're going to dive into everything that PFF had to say. But really quick, I got to tell you about today's presenting sponsor, Public Rec, the absolute best clothes that I have ever worn. And let's be real, fellas, nobody's got time for stiff, uncomfortable clothes. And I'm not talking just pants. I'm talking shirts too. And, it's February. It's cold outside. I'm literally looking out the window. There's flurries happening here in Dallas, Texas. I'm not worried. There's flurries. I ain't worried because I'm rocking that Public Rec. Public Rec, for a limited time, you can actually get 20% off your entire order if you use our code CHAT20 at publicrec.com. It's CHAT20. See it at the bottom of your screen. Public Rec, not only do they have awesome pants, they also have so many great style options, whether you're working all day in the office, you're running errands, or you're just going to grab a drink with the fellas. Their pants are designed to be as comfortable as your favorite sweats, but way more stylish. We're talking super soft fabric, no stiff seams, and enough stretch to keep up with whatever your day throws at you. So this February, stop settling for the same old stuff and step up your comfort game with Public Rec. It's about time you treat yourself, so use the links in the comment section description of this video to get 20% off your order by using code CHAT20. I know you guys are seeing this shirt. I know you guys have seen me rock this shirt a couple of times. I will not stop talking about Public Rec because I absolutely love their products. And on top of that, their customer service department is absolutely incredible. They are second to none. I cannot emphasize enough how much you will love your wardrobe and love yourself in Public Rec clothes. So go down to the comment section and description of this video. Use the link, publicrec.com, code CHAT20, CHAT20, to get 20% off your order. Thank you, Public Rec, for sponsoring today's video. All that information, like I mentioned, is in the comments and description. Alrighty, let's keep this train rocking and rolling. Dan Graziano, he is informing the NFL, or he put out this report, I should say, that the salary cap, it's going to increase. We're going to break this down in great detail on the channel as well. If you haven't seen it already, then I highly encourage you to go check it out on the channel. If we haven't posted it, well, it's coming soon. That's why you subscribe. 277 to 281 million. That's kind of the range that we're thinking. Notably, the cap has increased more than $53 million over the last 2 seasons. So right off the bat, before we even have this conversation, the Saints got great news here, and the salary cap just got a little bit more manageable for New Orleans. But let's now talk about Cam Jordan, because right now he's carrying a base salary of $12.5 million. He's 35 years old, and, look at the production. It isn't anything to go run home about. And I'm a big fan of Cam Jordan. He's going to always go down as one of my favorite players in NFL history. That being said, this is a business. This is something that we have to talk about, and it's not guaranteed that he returns. I think it's likely, but it's not guaranteed, so this is why we're going to have the conversation. Now, PFF saying that cutting Cam Jordan, particularly after June 1st, would be a logical step in addressing the cap space. The 2024 season didn't go as planned for the franchise legend, who finished with a 54.3 PFF pass rushing grade and a career worst 54.4 PFF run defense grade. Now, obviously, PFF grades, they aren't the gospel when it comes to defensive linemen. They aren't the gospel when it comes to NFL players as a whole, but it is a good indicator of kind of, where are they at. And when you're not putting up good numbers and you're not playing great football and the tape is kind of iffy, you have to consider the cap savings route here. And, one thing I'll also say here is with Cam Jordan, he has sort of taken a back seat and he has sort of kind of been a backup almost because Chase Young was taken over as a starter and Carl Granderson has been doing great. So, we've seen Cam Jordan move around all across the line. So, if you wanted to just say this isn't working, we're trying to force something to work, there is a path to saving money with Cam Jordan through these avenues. But I will say this, it's been very clear over the past, especially couple of years, but over the course of Cam Jordan's tenure, he wants to return to the New Orleans Saints, and he wants to be a part of this organization. He wants to retire a member of the black and gold. He even said, hopefully I'm part of the picture. We don't know. We're just sitting in an uncertain time. We don't know what's going to happen. Kellen Moore has even said, we like a lot of things in here. We don't want to get rid of the good. We don't want to just cancel out the good because there is some good here on the roster. I think Cam Jordan is a part of that. Sure, the production isn't what it used to be, but I think that he is a good leader of men. I think he's a good mentor for young players, and honestly, a change in the defensive scheme could actually really benefit Cam Jordan. PFF continued to say, Jordan was effectively relegated to backup duties behind Carl Granderson and Chase Young. Cutting Cam Jordan after June 1st would save $11 million as opposed to costing the Saints roughly $3 million if you move on before them. Well, I don't think you actually have to move on from Cam Jordan. He's willing to take a pay cut. He's willing to make things work. He doesn't want to leave New Orleans. He loves the Superdome. He loves the fans. He loves the state. He loves the city. He's even saying that taking a pay cut, quote, that's what agents are for. I'm willing to work. I love being a part of the city. So for me, I think when it comes down to Cam Jordan, see if you can make a pay cut happen. See if you can make something work out here. Cam Jordan deserves to retire a New Orleans Saint. And sure, maybe I'm looking at things through a black and gold colored lenses, but I will say, Cam Jordan, I hate to be that guy, you don't have much better pass rush than when you lose him. I know it's only 4 sacks last year, but Isaiah Foskey hasn't done anything yet. We sure as hell don't know what's going on with Tano Passanio if he can come back and be healthy. There's a lot of question marks behind Cameron Jordan. I have been sharing a lot of my thoughts on social media. I have been posting about this a lot. I personally think Cam Jordan's going to return. I just think it just makes too much sense. I think that he's going to figure out a way to make this work. I think he's going to be willing to take a pay cut, willing to figure out some sort of financial, give some sort of financial relief to the New Orleans Saints in order to benefit the team. He knows that what we're building is special, and I think he wants to be a part of sending that off into the sunset and getting that off the ground and making this happen. I love Cam Jordan. I will never vouch to cut him. I will never vouch to trade him. That's just a personal belief, and I can understand if you might want to rip me for that. But you don't get rid of franchise legends. That's just my opinion. You don't get rid of legends. So what will happen with Cam Jordan? Do you think he gets traded? Do you think he gets cut? Do you think he retires or pay cut? Nothing happens? Restructure? What do you think is going to happen? A lot of things could go down with Wham Bam. Thank you, Cam. But let me know down in the comments section what the future holds for number 94. And Saints fans, y'all stay golden. Thanks so much for watching. We'll see you next time. Booyah. What's going to... A little bit. A little bit. I thought I even got past it because I felt it was like, oh, throat tickles and giggity. And then I was like, oh, it doesn't tickle. Then I started talking, and then there we go. So here we are. Chillin' saying bless you. Thank you. All righty. Carr's probably going to get cut. I agree with you, Kyron. Keep Cam Jordan from U.S. Champ. Hey, U.S. Champ, by the way, thanks for hanging out with us again. I appreciate you always supporting, always hanging out with us. I think, did we get a super chat during that? We did. Okay. Correct. So let's go to Michelle's first. What were highlights of New Orleans during the Super Bowl? Oh, God, there's so many. It's a great question, Michelle. So I wasn't there physically for the game, but getting to do an interview with Ross Jackson, that was really, really fun. I got to talk to Blake Groupie for a few minutes. That was cool. I talked to David Njoku. I was in the background of the Pat McAfee show. That was kind of wild. There's just a lot of random cool things that were awesome. The food, just naturally, the food was amazing. Honestly, just being in a great city like New Orleans was awesome with the crew that we had. It was a really, really good group. We got a lot done. We went to Chop House and ate dinner, and it was unbelievable. One of the best steaks I've ever had, one of the best seafood platters I've ever had. I mean, it was just everything about it was amazing. I just loved being there, man. I loved being in the city. I loved being in New Orleans. I don't get to go very often. I've only been a handful of times in my life. But, being able to go and be a part of the Super Bowl week was really cool. And I just got to say, big time shout out to the city. I mean, it was safe. It was clean. It was it was comfortable. The people were so nice. You would have never known that something happened a handful of, less than 60 days before that. It was a terrible situation. I'm talking about the thing that happened on New Year's Eve. I don't want to get too much into it, but I got to say, New Orleans showed out. They showed the F out. And so, Michelle, I had an absolute blast. Thank you so much for supporting us and helping us send us there, Michelle. Brandon, I hope we get to play against the Bears. Beat Dennis Allen's trash ass. Let's see. I think they announced. Have they announced the opponents yet? Yeah, opponents are set. Let's see here. Saints 2025 opponents. Oh, God, you're going to love this. Road opponents. The Chicago Bears. You get to go visit Dennis Allen, Caleb Williams, and Ben Johnson at Soldier Field. Hopefully that one's not in the winter. The last time the Saints played in a cold weather game outside and against the NFC North, they got shut out. Did not go well. Fun fact, Saints are the only team this past year that got shut out. That's a real... No, it's not a fun fact. It actually makes me really mad. It's really embarrassing, honestly. All righty. Second segment, we're going to dive into what Colin Cowherd had to say about the Saints. He ripped them. Colin Cowherd's an idiot. It'd be like that. What are you going to do? What are you going to do? Let's see. Just making sure we're all set here. Perfect. All righty. We're going to dive into Kellen Moore and Colin Cowherd. And, yeah, let me just make sure we're set here. Cool. Fanatics for this one. All righty. Now let's do it. Yes. Today's video, we're going to discuss what Colin Cowherd had to say about the New Orleans Saints, because he has some very, very strong opinions around Kellen Moore and the black and gold. So before we even have a conversation about what Colin Cowherd had to say, I want to ask you, do you believe in Kellen Moore as the Saints head coach? I'm not asking, do you think the Saints are going to win the Super Bowl? I'm not asking, do you think they're going to make the playoffs? I'm asking, do you believe in him as the head coach over the next few years? I think if we show improvement, I think if we show development of young players, you have your guy, at least for another couple of seasons. Now, let's just dive straight into what Colin Cowherd had to say. Starting things off, he discusses Kellen Moore and, why there's issues, and let's just go straight for it. Colin Cowherd saying, about Kellen Moore, he'll be fine. They don't have any cap room. They've got a lot of issues. I think that's going to be, for the next couple of years, a dead franchise. No, I don't disagree. Saints aren't in a great spot. There's no way around it. There's no way to spin it. They are not in a good situation. You have an aging roster. You have a first-time head coach. No clear route at quarterback. No clear path to cap compliance. In the future, I should say. I just don't think the Saints are in a great spot. But I will say I think that New Orleans can still win the NFC South. And just because the Saints are in a bad spot doesn't mean that they can't be competitive. I mean, I'm sorry. I didn't realize the NFC South, before free agency even opened up, became some gauntlet of a division. They're not. The Bucs, they won the division because the rest of the division was backpedaling by the end of the season. The Falcons blew a ridiculous divisional lead. Saints went on a 7-game losing streak because Dennis Allen was incompetent. The Panthers actually kind of looked good here. And, I will say, when you take into consideration the fact that the salary cap is going to explode here in the near future, I don't think that it's fair to say that the Saints are a dead franchise. Sure, there's problems. Sure, there's holes on the roster. Sure, they don't have a lot of cap space. But I am here to tell you, they're at least moving in the right direction when it comes to trying to build something for the future. And, linked below, we did break down that Brett Coleman report in full detail. This is the thumbnail. It's linked in the comments and description of this video. So if you want to check that out, I highly encourage you to go get informed. A lot of really good information, really good nuggets in there. But just going back to Colin Cowherd about Kellen Moore, he was asked what he thinks, how long he's got. He won't last 4 years. They don't have the cap space. They don't have a quarterback. I just don't think they have enough good players. I disagree with Colin Cowherd on this. I don't think it's going to be a 4-year leash. What do you guys think? How many years does Kellen Moore get to fix things? Do you think he gets 4 years? Do you think he's around longer than 4 years? Do you think he has 2 years to figure it out, and then if not, he's fired? In my personal opinion, I think that the Saints and the Saints fans, they should be patient. Not just the team, not just the front office, but you and me having conversation right now. We need to be patient. We need to understand that it's not going to get fixed overnight. This is a 1-2 year fix when it comes to the salary cap situation. But, I will say positive news here. Everything indicates that the team and that the front office believes in Kellen Moore and that they're willing to be patient and they're willing to work with him. And I think if you're showing a willingness to do those things, you made mistakes in the past, but that doesn't mean you can't correct them. I like that information. Gail Benson at the introductory press conference for Kellen Moore saying, Kellen, you have my full commitment to do whatever it takes to deliver another Lombardi trophy to New Orleans. Look, I can understand why Colin Cowherd isn't liking the Saints. I can understand why he thinks his team isn't going to be good. I don't understand why he said this. I would pick the Saints last because I think Carolina's on the way up. Sure, Carolina is on the way up. I agree. I think the Panthers are trending upwards right now. But so are the Saints. The Saints haven't gotten worse. The Saints have only gotten better, and they've only made one roster move. Just the coaching rehaul alone, or the coaching overhaul alone, is a big win, and it improves the roster. That being said, sure, the Panthers have improved, but the NFC South is not wildly competitive, guys. The Falcons are not an amazing team. We want to sit here and have a conversation. Spencer Rattler and Michael Penix have the same amount of wins as a starting quarterback. They have the same amount of wins. Kirk Cousins is old. No. I think the Falcons are in a better situation than the Saints, but to sit here and say that they're an absolute dumpster fire, they're a dead franchise, and they're the only team going down right now, that's a lie. That's not true, Colin, and I expect more from you. So with the New Orleans Saints, I think they can still win and they can still be competitive purely based on the fact that Kellen Moore is the head coach. Remember, this roster was doing good things before it got injured. Things start going off the rails when injuries start piling up, and that happens for any team. Now, really quick, I want to do a fast reminder to subscribe and join our family. We're on the road to 50,000 subscribers, so help us get there. We have recently crossed over 41K, though. So we got to get to 42, then to 43, then to 44, all the way up to 50,000 subscribers. The half 100,000 milestone, I hope we can get there ASAP, and I hope you can help us make it happen quicker. Now, really fast, you also can get some really quick gear, or some really sick gear, I should say, Chatsports.com/SaintsLS, Saints long sleeve. It's a Nike shirt. It's 40% off. You got the hood. You got the Saints across the chest. It's a sideline shirt. It absolutely is fresh, so I highly recommend it. It's linked in the comments and description of this video. It's coming from Fanatics. That way you know you're getting a good product. Now, I do believe Kellen Moore being hired, I do believe that this makes a big impact. And I do believe that hiring a good coach, that minuscule move can make a massive impact, and a massively positive impact, I should say. Dare I say Kellen Moore might be the best head coach in the NFC South? I mean, Todd Bowles, again, he's won the division because the rest of the NFC South sucks, and they are the recipients of they're the best of, let me put it this way. They're the least stinky shit. That's how you can think about the Bucs right now. Falcons, Raheem Morris, they just blew a divisional lead. He was horrible in the back half of the season. I've already seen Falcons fans calling for his job. Dave Canales, credit to him. Panthers are looking good. None of them, but Kellen Moore, sure, some of them have had Super Bowl experience and whatever, okay. But Kellen Moore did it most recently. Kellen Moore also did it with a historically good team. He also put up historic numbers. Also on top of that, Kellen Moore is a much younger mind. He's a player. He's innovative. He's creative. I think that you could put Kellen Moore's football IQ up to anybody's football IQ in the NFC South, and it would be better. I genuinely think Kellen Moore, he could be the best head coach in the NFC South. Over the future, I think right now he might be the best one in the division. And I'll say this, what if things go well? I mean, shit, what if things go super, super well? What if in 6 months from now, we're having a conversation of, oh my God, they killed this draft. They have destroyed free agency. They have had an insanely good offseason. And then what happens if they start winning a couple games in the preseason? And then what happens if they win a few games early? And then what happens if they keep winning games? And what happens if they win the division, for the love of God? Are all these analysts like Skip Bayless and Colin Cowherd going to tuck their tail between their legs and say they were wrong? No. They're going to say they believed him the whole time. But don't you forget who actually believed in this team the whole time. It's us Saints fans. The Big J guys, they don't care. They don't know. They don't want to know about the team. They don't care. We do. And that's why you should subscribe to the channel. If you're excited for the new era of Saints football, it is here, ladies and gentlemen. You can leave the Dennis Allen and Derek Carr experience. You can leave that in the dust. It doesn't matter if Derek Carr's a part of the team next year. You can leave that whole entire past in the dust. The Sean Payton, Drew Brees era is done. It is a new era and a new generation of Saints football. If you're excited, if you're ready for the ride with me, give me a hoot at down in the comment section. And don't forget to subscribe. Y'all stay golden. Booyah! I was trying to look at the chat, and then my thing, like in the middle of it, like froze out. I was like, shoot! Alrighty, let's go. Who's still drafting these players? That's the problem. Starts. Ricky B getting a question in. Queen Courtney, give me a hoot at. If you guys want to get on the show, use hashtag Saints or Super Chat. Can we pop that weighing up too? The mailbag. Yeah, just the mailbag one. Hoot at from Hoot at Daddy. Appreciate you. Join the program. We have a mailbag coming up. Use hashtag Saints or send in a Super Chat. If you do send in a Super Chat, you skip the line and we spend a little extra time on your question, similar to a Fast Pass at Disney World or at Six Flags or your favorite amusement park. Otherwise, use hashtag Saints and you'll be at the discretion of producer Nick Lopez. And, you know, he can be pretty picky when it comes to some questions. So you better give him some good ones. Otherwise, you ain't getting on the show. I'll tell you that right now. Do what? Yeah, Lopez just said he'll end it early. Lopez just said he'll end it right now if we don't get good questions. Hashtag Saints, send in a Super Chat. You can ask a question. You can share a hot take, a draft idea, a trade idea, Literally anything. You ask about my personal life, you ask about Lopez's life, whatever you want to know. We want to have a conversation. We want to chop it up with you guys. Mike, I appreciate you for getting that question in there. We'll make sure we show you some love in the mailbag. How are we looking on questions? Do we need a few more? Okay. Read through them. Okay. Let's get a couple more questions in there. Use hashtag Saints, ask a question. Use hashtag Saints, share a hot take, trade idea, draft target, of just the thoughts about the team, thoughts about New Orleans, like whatever you want to do. This last time we did one of these videos, it got almost 30,000 views. So if you want almost 30,000 people to see what you have to say about the black and gold, hashtag Saints or send in a super chat. Feels like it's a pretty good deal right there for free. What do they do? What will the Saints do in free agency from Kyron? That's a good question. Finley, great question there. We're going to definitely make sure to have that. Ricky, I like that as well. I think you bring up some good points there. We'll make sure we get you involved in the show too. Let's get a couple more here. Let's get a couple more. You're good. Let's get a couple of more. Dennis, Darren Rizzi has been hired by Sean Payton already. All right, Jaden, we'll make sure you get in. Judah, we'll make sure you get in. Feeds, do you think AK is unhappy? It's a reach, but on his story he posted the dome saying LOL, now what? Yeah, I don't think anything about Alvin Kamara posting on his Instagram story. He has expressed time and time again he is Saints first and Saints only, and he is going to retire a Saint. We will not entertain trade talks around Alvin Kamara. It's just not happening. Oh yeah, Alvin Kamara is a serial cryptic tweet sender and a serial cryptic poster. Like he loves to stir the pot like that. I think he likes seeing a reaction, and I don't think it's like coming out of an ill intent. I think he just likes to see like ooh. I mean, he was very vocal. Like my pick for head coach is Rizzi. He said it rhymes with frizzy. Trizzy? No, but he said that he wanted Darren Rizzi. Like I don't think that this is. No, dude. Kellen Moore. Alvin Kamara should be very excited to work with Kellen Moore. Kellen Moore is very excited to get to work with Alvin Kamara, so there you go. We got questions. Let's see. All righty. Keep getting those questions in. You're good. All righty. Is like the link just not working? It's all good. It's all good. It's all good. We can make it happen. All righty. We're going to dive on in. Use hashtag Saints, send in a super chat. Finley says, Trizzy has been my #1 source of Saints news. Hey, I appreciate that, Finley. Thank you so much, my friend. What are your thoughts on the Saints switching to 3-4 defense? We'll definitely talk about that, Cairo. I have some good thoughts there. All righty. Whenever producer Lopez gives me the thumbs up, we're good to go. Booyah. Cool. All righty. And then just don't forget the name badge, right, for the weigh-in 3. Cool. All righty. Mailbag coming at you when Lopez is ready. What's going on, Saints fans? Today's video is a mailbag with questions from our live show that we have every single Wednesday at 4 p.m. Central Time. questions from our subscribers. And if you want to be a part of it in the future, I highly encourage you to subscribe to the channel. That way you can get more news, rumors, and updates around the black and gold. And that way we can also kick the teeth in on Falcons today. Right now they're kicking our ass, but we only need 165 subs to catch up to them. So help me out, Who Dat Nation. Let's go catch the Dirty Birds, bury the baby brothers of the NFC South. Let's get back on top of the 2025 sub battle. Alrighty, how this mailbag works, people send in questions in the live chat. People have questions, I have answers, and I share my thoughts. So very first question of the day is going to be coming in here in just a moment from Finley. Trizzy G has been my number one source of Saints news. I appreciate that, Finley. You the man. Thank you for always showing me some love. Be sure to subscribe, just like Finley. Alrighty, so Finley also saying, what do you think Kellen Moore is going to rely on more, the run offense or the passing offense? This is a great question. I actually think you should expect a lot of the run. The Eagles, they were very, very active in the run game. They were a run-first football team, and I think that Alvin Kamara and Taysom Hill, when he's healthy, that's a really good rushing squad. One thing about Kellen Moore, he says, he even said in his introductory press conference, he doesn't care if you have to run the ball 50 times or pass the ball 50 times. They're just going to find a way to win because that's what's important to him. So expect Kellen Moore some games to be pass happy. Expect some games to be run happy. But I think ultimately this will be a run-first team for the New Orleans Saints under Kellen Moore. Great question, Finley. Depressed Pels fan, I've seen some Max Crosby trade rumors. Can he be the last edition of the New Orleans Raiders? Yeah, throw back to all those Raiders players and coaches that joined. Oh, God, that was awful. I'll tell you one thing. Before we answer this question, if you're going to model yourself after a team, should be the Eagles, not the frickin' Raiders. Look, I think it'd be cool to have Max Crosby. I think it would be an awesome addition. I think he has no intention of leaving Las Vegas. So would I trade for him? Absolutely. I understand it would be expensive. I understand it would be very difficult to pull off. But he's a player that's worth it. I just don't think it's very likely. I think he's going to want to stay in Las Vegas. And to be totally honest, I don't know why you'd want to stay in Vegas, but he strikes me as a guy a lot like Cam Jordan who once he's somewhere and he feels established and he feels like he's earned a spot, he wants to build something special. So, you can't knock him for that. Rob Brown, who would you prefer, Trizzy, behind AK? Genty or Scadaboo? I hate having this conversation because every week it changes. I'm going to say... I hate you for bringing up this question, dude. I don't know. I'm going Ashton Genty. He's a generational player. But I'll make the argument if you go Cam Scadaboo, you can get him on day 2. You can maybe even round 3. You can fill in some other positions in need in the first and second round. So there's value in both sides. I'm gonna go Genty though. Jerry G, do you think the 3-4 defense will make the Saints defense? Yes, I do think that this will improve the defense. So for those of you who don't know, Brandon Staley likely, if at the time of filming this video, Wednesday, February 19th, about 5 p.m. Central Time. Brandon Staley has not been named the defensive coordinator, just rumors around him. He would likely change things to a 3-4 defense. Ross Jackson has gone into great detail about this. He has a lot of great information on this, so I highly recommend you check out his podcast around this subject. But, I think that this will lead to improvement, not just for the defense as a whole, but I think this helps guys like Isaiah Foskey. I think this helps Carl Granderson. I think that honestly this could help Cam Jordan. I think it takes it just is a more modern style, and to be totally honest, the Saints need a massive push of being more modern, and it's not just offense, it's defense too. Now, really fast, we got more questions to get to, but I have to give a big-time shout-out to Public Rec for sponsoring today's show. I know you guys love this shirt. I know you've seen me wear this. I know you've heard me talk about it so many times, but it's because I never get tired of talking about Public Rec. It's because honestly, thank God my washer and dryer work because I never stop wearing my Public Rec. And you can get your gear today. 20% off if you use code CHAT20 at publicrec.com. So, it's February. It's cold outside. I'm just going to be honest, fellas. You deserve to be comfortable in whatever you're wearing. Nobody has time for stiff, uncomfortable clothes anymore. So Public Rec, that's where they come in. Their pants are designed to be as comfortable as your favorite sweats, but are way, way more stylish. We're talking about super soft fabrics, no stiff seams, and enough stretch in all the right places to keep up with whatever your day throws at you. So this February, stop selling for the same old stuff and step up your comfort game with Public Rec. It's about time you treat yourself, Saints fans. For a limited time, the Who Dat Nation gets 20% off your entire order with code CHAT20 at publicrec.com. That's CHAT20 at publicrec.com. The link is in the comments and description of this video. I love Public Rec, guys. I've ordered a lot of stuff from them. I continue to order a lot of stuff from them, and I like to think that I'm helping keep their lights on. They're helping keep our lights on. I like to think I'm helping keep theirs. I just love the product. And I'm going to be honest, it makes for really good gifts, too. If you have a friend that or a family member has a birthday coming up, Father's Day, that'll sneak up way quicker than you guys realize. Before you know it, you're going to be like, oh, crud, I forgot to give my dad a Father's Day gift. Go ahead and order the pants, order a shirt or something like that. Stash it in the closet, forget about it for a few months, and then here in April, you'll be like, oh my God, I'm the best son in the whole wide world because I already have my Public Rec stuff for my dad. Link is in the comments and description of this video. Code CHAT20 at publicrec.com. So we've talked a little bit about some trade ideas and some trade discussion. Who's a dream trade target for the Saints? I want you to get creative. I want you to get really wild with this one. Like, the crazier, the better. Cap space doesn't exist. Draft compensation doesn't exist. You can just call any team right now and say, we're trading for this player, and they have to accept. Who is your dream trade target for the black and gold? Have some fun with this one. Ricky Baker, hot take. Wee-woo, wee-woo, wee-woo. Hot take alert. I don't like Brandon Staley because he had Aaron Donald and Jalen Ramsey when he was the defensive coordinator, then completely flopped when he went to the Chargers, rather the guy from the Eagles. So, Ricky, I can understand where you're coming from there, brother. Aaron Donald, Jalen Ramsey in 2020, they had unbelievable years. Rams won a Super Bowl. They were an unstoppable force, both offensively and defensively. That all being said, Brandon Staley was never going to work out as a head coach for the Chargers. They were in a bad situation. The roster wasn't all that great. And I just don't think a lot of defensive coaches are going to succeed in this league. So, or as head coaches, I should say. I get where you're coming from, but I think Brandon Staley's a lot like Dennis Allen, where if you don't make him a head coach, he is phenomenal in that role right as a coordinator. I think that's where he might thrive a little bit. And plus, if things work out, it's not like teams are like itching to go hire Brandon Staley. He could be the defensive coordinator for the next couple of years, at least until he gets another opportunity elsewhere. And to be honest, I think that's a good little thing for Kellen Moore's future with the Saints. Aiden, do you think there's a good chance Carr can revive his career with a good coach? Do you think there's a chance Carr can revive his career with a good coach? Let me say this. If anyone were to be able to revive Carr's career, it will be Kellen Moore or John Gruden. You're not hiring John Gruden. Look, you know what Derek Carr is. He's been in the league, 11, 12 years or something at this point? He's been in the league a long time, guys. You know what Derek Carr is. He's not horrible. He's not elite. He's aggressively average, and that's always what he'll be. That's okay. Not everyone can be a top 5 quarterback of all time. Not everyone can be a career backup. Derek Carr is neither of those things. He's right in the middle. He's aggressively average, and he's paid average quarterback money to be average. So, can he? Sure. I think there is a chance. I don't think it's a very high chance. I also don't know if Derek Carr will be with the team next year. So, we'll have to see. But great question, Aiden. Austin Darden, let's go to you, brother. I think we cut Derek Carr, give Rattler a fair chance, and with a good, healthy wide receiver group and O-line. He shows sparks even with scrubs. So I'll say this right now. I think that this is a good route here. Cut Derek Carr, give Spencer Rattler the opportunity to see what happens. No distractions there. There's no question about it. Spencer Rattler was working with the UFL. The UFL was his roster. Was not good. I would like to see anybody try and win with that roster. Just going to go ahead and put that out there. I don't think you need to trade up for Will Campbell. If you really wanted him at 9, I think he'll be there at 9 overall. And on top of that, honestly, no, I don't want to trade up for an offensive lineman. I'd rather just take an O-lineman that falls there, or a guy like Genty, or a guy like Will Johnson, or a Mason Graham, or something like that. So we'll have to see what happens. I agree with 2 out of the 3 parts here. Cut Derek Carr, give Spencer Rattler an opportunity. Healthy wide receiver group and O-line definitely needs a chance there. He does show sparks. I agree, but I wouldn't trade up for Will Campbell. But Austin, I really appreciate you for sending in this question, my friend. Biggest Carr fan. So you must have hated that last question. My dream trade target is Micah Parsons. Ooh. Man, I don't know. I don't think that Micah Parsons is going to be a Saint. Dream? For sure. That'd be a lot of fun. And on top of that, it's a big, big help. He's dude, fill a position in need. Like, I really like the idea of bringing in Micah Parsons. I just, if we're going to be realistic, I don't think it's going to happen. But dream trade target, that is a really, really good option as a dream trade target. I really appreciate you, biggest Carr fan. So I don't think the Saints are going to make a lot of trades, maybe a couple. But which team's going to make the most trades this offseason? Hot take, I think the Commanders might be very active spenders. So could the Patriots. They too could be big spenders. So I want you to get down in the comments. Which team is going to be the most trades during the offseason? Show your ball knowledge. Queen Courtney. Y'all know what to do. Get the Queen emojis in the chat. Put the crown emojis for Queen Courtney. How do you think the offense will look if we keep Taysom Hill, draft Cam Scatterbo, or Warren with Alvin Kamara? So hear me out. Queen Courtney, I think you can't. First, I'm going to tell you how we can make this all work. Draft Tyler Warren in round 1 at 9 overall. Maybe you trade back and get an extra pick. Then you draft Cam Scatterbo on day 2, whether it's the second or third round. Then you get both of those guys. If you keep Taysom Hill, you're going to have to wait for him to get healthy. I don't expect him to be healthy at the beginning of the season. He has a major knee injury and an ACL injury. He's expected to make a full recovery, so that's good news there. He's in good spirits. But if you do have this offense and Taysom Hill can return to form, it's a good-looking squad right there, Queen Courtney. It's a good-looking squad. Aiden, another question from you, my friend. We need a big receiver. Who's your favorite in the draft? Trey Harris. Trey Harris is my guy if you want to go get a big-bodied receiver. He fits the same size profile of like an A.J. Brown. He's big, contested catch, physical wide receiver. Fills that void that you've had since Michael Thomas hasn't really been a factor. Savion Williams, is that the guy from TCU? Savion Jones? Savion Williams, Savion Jones, a tight end or a wide receiver from TCU, but then Jack Besh. He also is a TCU wide receiver. I really like him. Senior Bowl MVP too. Saints have drafted Senior Bowl MVPs the past 2 years. Maybe making it 30 in a row, but there's a couple options for you. Jack Besh, Savion Jones / Savion Williams, a TCU wide receiver. Name's slipping me right now. And Trey Harris. Trey Harris is my number 1 for sure, though. Cole So Sporty, do you think the Saints make the playoffs and get Sam Darnold or Justin Fields? Sam Darnold, no. I think he has priced himself out of where the New Orleans Saints can spend money. He had a phenomenal year, factually. I know that they didn't win the playoff game. I know they didn't go far. He had a phenomenal season. There's no question about it. Justin Fields, I think is a little bit more likely, but it's all going to come down to whether or not the Steelers want to keep him. A domino to look for is Matthew Stafford. Once things kind of figure out where he ends up getting traded to or being a part of, then you start seeing the Sam Darnold, Justin Fields, Russell Wilson, Derek Carr. You start seeing that kind of all start falling into place. So do the Saints make the playoffs? Maybe. If they get Justin Fields, who knows? I don't know 100% if they'll get it. Sam Darnold less likely than Justin Fields, though. God. Why did you pull this question up? Why? Who is in the chat with this name? It is a great question. It's a great take, but whoever has this name, shame on you. Kyron Lacey lover, what's going on? I still want the Saints to draft Shedeur Sanders. Look, I'll tell you what, KLL, if you want Shedeur, I'm not really willing to trade away the future of the Saints. Shedeur isn't a guy to me that is worth trading away a lot of capital because it's going to take a lot to get up from 9 to 1 or 2 or 3. I do like Shedeur Sanders as a prospect, but I think that the better route here is to go don't draft a quarterback this year, maybe Jackson Dart, Quinn Ewers, Jalen Milroe late. I don't want to dig them in anything outside of day 3 for the record. If you don't draft, and that you revisit this conversation next year. I think that you have to see what you have in Spencer Rattler. and then we go from there. I just think that's the right thing to do here. But I don't mind Shedeur Sanders. I think he's a good football player. And for the record, I met him in Mexico. Can Kamara have a Saquon-type season under Kellen Moore? Can he? Yes. Will he? Probably not. A big factor of that is how good the Eagles' offensive line was. I mean, they were the best squad in football. You are getting a new coach from the Philadelphia Eagles. Who was it? It was TJ Paganetti. He was the run game coordinator and I believe the assistant O-line coach in Philadelphia. He is now joining the Eagles or the Saints coaching staff, and he was a big part of the run game success. So, I think that's a good news for him. And then Doug Nussmeier being the OC, Kellen Moore ran the ball a lot last year. I think that we're going to see a lot of running the football, and I really hope and I really believe Alvin Kamara can get that 1,000-yard season. Hunter, thoughts on signing Amari Cooper in free agency? I don't hate it. Coop is a good player. He's still putting up good numbers. That being said, it's going to depend on the price point. I'm not willing to break the bank. I would be willing to give him a fair but a respectable but not break the bank contract. It needs to be respectable to both sides. Give Coop the money he deserves, but also you shouldn't burn a hole in your wallet for a guy like Amari Cooper. Wide receiver is a position in need. He could be a good veteran in a group that's lacking a quality veteran. So I don't hate the idea of bringing in Amari Cooper. Again, just don't break the bank on it. Another question, Judah. Saints trade away pick number 9 for more draft capital in the first 5 rounds. How many picks could we get? Depends on where you're trading. Depends on who's trading for it. I bet you could get another second round pick. Maybe another 3rd round pick. I think you could definitely get at least 1 second round pick for sure. Maybe on top of the 3rd. It is going to come down to which team is doing it, how desperate they are. Because, for example, if a team trades from 15, they're going to give up a lot less than a team trading from 28, if that makes some sense. So, Judah, is a good question. My answer will be you can get at least another couple of day 2 picks. I don't think you're going to get another first-round pick, though. But you definitely can at least add a couple more day 2 picks, hopefully. I think that would be what it is. But we'll have to see what happens. Guys, thank you so much for watching today's video. A little bit longer of a show, but hey, we're having a good time doing this kind of content, and you guys keep watching it, so that's why we keep making it. Saints fans, hit me up on social media if you guys have any more questions. If I didn't get to answer it, just feel free to send me a DM. I also, every week, put out a first call for mailbag questions, so if you want to guarantee your spot on the mailbag, just answer the questions and comment and DM me. Whatever you want to do, just reach out to me on social media, and I'll make sure we include you next week. Saints fans, y'all stay golden. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe, and we will see you next time. Booyah! All right. Do what? You're good. Damn. Jaw hurts. Been talking so much. We got to stop this whole talking thing, Lopez. I don't know why I do this. Dude, I know sign language. Fun fact. I do. I took sign language in high school. I don't remember a ton of it, but I remember enough of it. Fun story for those of you who don't care. I took sign language in high school, and my senior year, I took it freshman and sophomore year, so only 2 years. My senior year of high school, my parents and my family and I, we went to Disney World, and when we were there, my mom was trying to buy something from a gift shop, and the lady who was helping her was deaf. The employee at Disney was deaf. So my mom texts me. She goes, "Get your ass over here. I need your help, blah, blah, blah." And I'm freaking out. I'm oh, somebody messing with my mom. Oh, we about to go to Mickey Mouse jail. Let's go. Let's do it. Come to find out, she didn't know sign language, and she wanted me to sign, and she wrote out on her phone my son knows sign language. So I got put on the spot, and I actually was able to kind of pull it out of my bag and get back in my ASL sack, if you will. And actually, I had a conversation with her. It was pretty cool. I did not know that I still knew sign language.
I think we have to do at least one video in sign language.
Oh, God.
By we, I mean you.
No
I don't know
chance.
sign language.
Lopez wants me to. I'll tell you what. If somebody sends in $1,000 Venmo right now, I'll do it.
You start throwing up gang signs?
Yeah, just. See, that's the thing. I'd start doing sign language, and people are y'all, you can't throw up those kind of signs. Look at your pigmentation. You can't do that. Yeah, bro, you don't know where you at. You got to stop that. Jane says, Trace, my question would be in the mailbag.
What?
Jaden. Oh, my God. I think that's the one he wants. Can you
Put
like
it up.
what?
I can put the question up.
Yeah, pull it up. Pull it up. Should we splice this into the mailbag? Fuck it. No, that's not that important. It's not that important. Alrighty. Jaden, we'll get your question up, my friend. Trade for Jamar Chase. Would you do it? Yes. Yes, I would. There's a handful of players in this league that I don't care what the asking price is. I would make the trade. Jamar Chase, Justin Jefferson, Patrick Mahomes. Definitely players I don't care what it is. Go get them. Like, Jamar Chase just won the Triple Crown. Why would you not want that?
How much do you think it would take to
How much would
get
it
Jamar
take?
Chase?
If he didn't win the Triple Crown, it would be a lot less. But because he did, I'm going to say it's going to do at least 2 or 3 firsts and then at least 2 seconds. It's going to be a lot. You're going to have to give up a lot. Like, Jamar Chase is not somebody that I don't think the Bengals want to give up anytime soon. And to be totally honest, like, in my opinion, if the Bengals were to give up Jamar Chase, you risk Joe Burrow asking to get out.
Yeah, there's a chance you might just get both of them.
Huh?
The Saints just be like,
Yeah, dude, honestly,
Can I get
Saints should
Burrow?
just trade for both of those guys. Just like, fuck it. They were really good at LSU. Why not?
The Saints just slide the Bengals a blank check. What do you want?
Yeah. Under the table. Here, just under the table. Here you go. With this, just let us know what you want. Let us know. We'll make it happen. I would love to trade for Jamar. I don't think it's very realistic. Do we get any other questions or anything?
We had one that just came in that said we missed their question.
Kendall says, missed my question, Trace. What vet wide receiver should we go and get in free agency other than T. Higgins? Cooper Kupp. Well, Cooper Kupp is not a free agent. He is possibly getting traded. Huh?
He might get cut.
He might get cut. Yeah, Kendall, that's fair. He might get cut. I don't hate the idea of Cooper Kupp. He is old and he's not the player he used to be. T. Higgins obviously is likely not an option. It would be fun to get Chris Godwin, but he wants nothing. I guarantee he's not coming to the Saints. Amari Cooper could be fun. DeAndre Hopkins already retired, so you can't get him. There's just not a lot of good wide receivers in free agency. I think you just got to go to the draft, to be totally honest, Kendall. This is not a good wide receiver poll in free agency. I'm trying to think, is there any names I'm missing here? The wide receiver free agents? Stephon Diggs. 31 coming off an injury. No. T. Higgins, Chris Godwin, Amari Cooper, Stephon Diggs, DeAndre Hopkins are your top five wide receivers in free agency according to PFF. However, DeAndre Hopkins retired. Marquise Brown is the next one. Darius Slayton, no. Keenan Allen. Honestly, maybe Keenan Allen. Just because there's the connection between him and Kellen Moore from their time with the Chargers. Honestly, maybe. You could probably get him for pretty cheap. Same with Mike Williams. Same exact reasoning. You could probably get him for pretty cheap. So there's a couple names for you, Kendall. I appreciate you. All righty. We're going to hop on out of here. I really appreciate you guys for rocking and rolling with us over the last, hour and 8 minutes. It's been a hell of a show. It's been a lot of fun. Kendall Taylor, bring back Dez Bryant. That was the craziest. That was the craziest,
Okay, wait, real quick.
36 hours in Saints history.
Who would you rather bring back, Dez Bryant or Michael Thomas?
Who would I rather bring back? In their current health or in their prime?
Right now.
Right now, calling off the couch, come play right now.
Yeah.
Michael Thomas.
I'd Dez Bryant.
You'd go Dez?
Just for the shits of it. They're both not going to do
See,
anything.
no, neither of them can do
I'm
anything.
going for
I'm just
Cooper.
thinking Michael Thomas is probably the guy who's probably make a bigger impact. That being said, I would love to see Dez
I'm
throw
trying
up
to
the
say
X one
Darius.
time. I want to see Dez throw up the X one time in the Saints. That we never got to see it. Craziest 36 hours in Saints history,
Bro,
dude.
Fun fact.
Yeah.
When he was supposed to debut in Cincinnati, me, my dad, and some family, we were driving up there. Literally on the road, he tears his Achilles. It was Friday afternoon. We were like, no way.
That sucks, dude.
It was.
That was the craziest. Oh my God, Dez Bryant just signed to the Saints? He just tore his ACL. Never mind. Or whatever, Achilles or whatever, just injury.
Yeah, and then they won by 50.
Yeah.
They busted
Didn't need
the
him.
Bengals' ass.
Didn't need him. Oh, well, I remember Mark Ingram throwing up an X after he scored a touchdown to show Dez some love. I was like, I'm going to change my answer. Fuck Michael Thomas. I'm taking back Des Bryant. That's what I want. Queen Courtney wants us to stay live for a few more minutes. Lopez, you going to stay live for a few more? F it. We'll stay live. We'll stay live. All righty. What we're going to do here, though, is Queen Courtney. I'm going to set a shot clock, just 2 minutes on my phone. If we get another super chat in the next 2 minutes, we'll stay live. We'll stay live if we get another super chat here in the next 2 minutes. But Queen Courtney wants us to stay live. If you guys have more questions, feel free. #Saints, send in a super chat.
Yeah.
If you do send a super chat, you keep the show going. Just going to put that out there, just for what it's worth. Yeah. This has been a fun live show, to be honest. If we cut Carr, would you bring back Michael Thomas from Ethan? No. It's time to put the Michael Thomas conversation to rest. He didn't play at all last year. Like, I think the NFL is just kind of blackballing him at this point. Like, does he deserve it? It's a different conversation.
Antonio Brown got multiple chances.
Yeah. That's actually a good point. Antonio Brown got multiple chances, but Michael Thomas is not on a roster. Bad luck. That being said, he ain't coming back, man. It would be kind of cool, though. It would be. I mean, Derek Carr gets cut, new head coach. Like, don't rule it out, I guess. Queen Courtney sending that $5 super chat to keep us live. All right, I'm going to reset the shot clock just because I accidentally started it early. So now we're going to go 2 minutes right now. Super chat keeps us live. If not, we're going to sign off. I see Nico Canada. Would you want Debo? I like the player that Debo Samuel is, and I do think I think Kellen Moore could get creative and use him in a Taysom Hill type fashion, meaning a versatile offensive weapon, not limited to one position. However, I don't want to give up all of my draft capital and all of my cap space to Debo Samuel. I just think that when it comes down to it, like if the Saints had more cap space, sure, why not? If they were in a better cap situation, 100%. But I want to get that cap figured out. That's a big one for me. A little over a minute still. I see Finley asking MVS return. I would love to see MVS return, and I think he could. He made a very, very good case for himself to return to the New Orleans Saints this year.
Ethan says that Henry Ruggs is balling out in the prison league, I think. That could be fun.
Ethan.
Then we draft Kyron Lacey. Ethan,
we are not building the mean machine from the longest yard, so we're not making a call to Henry Ruggs. Jaden says, one more question. Can you go to my first question before Jamar Chase? Jaden, I cannot. You're going to have to send it in there again, brother. If you want me to answer it, you're going to have to send it in. There's too many messages in here for me to scroll back and find the one. Plus, you only have 30 seconds, so I'm not going to spend the last 30 seconds being quiet. Sypha, how you doing today, Trizzy? I can't complain, Sypha. I really appreciate you asking. Hope you're doing well, my friend. Mary Sutherland says, the best hire will be Doug Nussmeier. From Mary, I like that idea. I think Doug Nussmeier is a great hire. He's a support role for I think he's a good support role for Kellen Moore. He's followed him around a couple different spots. Jerry G making a mean machine joke. All right, last chance to get a super chat. Otherwise, we're signing off. Queen Courtney did her part. Now it's time for you to do yours. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All righty. We're going to hop on out of here. I really hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your night. Queen Courtney, thank you for keeping us live a little extra longer. Nick Lopez, shout out to you, my friend. You're the absolute man. For me, for Nick, for Saints Now by Chat Sports, y'all have a wonderful evening. Y'all stay golden. Content coming your way.